So I'm here in Washington, D.C. Sorry. And I'm going to give you a real walking tour. Behind me is America's most luxurious nursing home, also known as the U.S. Senate. Oh, and just around the corner is where our first gay president, Barack Obama, once lived. Standing in front of America's oldest house of prostitution. It's also the government's largest welfare program for the mentally disabled. I thought I just heard a huck, but I realized it was just a politician with their big pharma lobbyist.
Arynne Wexler is an absolute nightmare for modern liberals. Watch what happens when she calls out Olympic gun hypocrites.
I feel like no one's watching the Olympics. They're like made up sports right now. Do you guys know what the biathlon is? Yeah. It's cross-country skiing and then you shoot a rifle. It's the only one I care about because there's a gun in it. We didn't even medal. Italy got first place. I think they were just so excited to finally hold a firearm. They haven't held one since like 1945. We don't let them have those anymore. It's really interesting to hear European judges talk about the athletes. With the biathlon, they're like really focused on like the skill of the shooter and how that affected the outcome. And I'm like, oh, so it's the person that makes the gun shoot. It's the person aiming the gun. I wonder what point I'm trying to make. She's just being supportive. She's like, I hate guns. Yes? She's so supportive. I love that. Who says women don't help other women?
I'm from New York. So.
You're from New York? Oh, and you vote here? No? Thank God. Okay. The U.S. didn't even medal in that? That's crazy. It's the one sport with a gun, and we didn't get any medals. I bet we would have gotten gold if they'd held it in an elementary school.
And she doesn't stop there. That total refusal to back down carries straight into this podcast, where a trans guest tries to claim they're competing for the exact same guys.
We are on the same page. If you don't look like a girl, get the out of the girls' bathroom.
I don't think you belong in the girls' bathroom.
But you wouldn't, my love, you wouldn't know.
But
4 years in, a lot of the issues that we're having is the divide where it's competition, my love. We're like, we're dating the same men.
We're definitely not dating the same men.
We are, baby. Trust me.
No, we are not.
We are.
I don't know about dating.
Yes, we are. We're dating the same dudes.
Can't say that.
I think that there's a competitive aspect to where, like,
Carolina, this is where I just full on cut you off.
Shutting down delusional logic is second nature to Arynne, because growing up liberal passing in New York taught her how leftists secretly view conservatives.
Growing up in New York, I was always in rooms with liberals who just assumed I agree with them because I'm liberal passing. What I realized sitting in all those rooms is that liberals, they think that things are copacetic. You know, when we're in an office, you have a friendship with someone who has different political opinions than you do. They think it's because they're forgiving us for being evil. But what they don't realize is we're forgiving them for being retarded.
She learned that the hard way back in high school, when administrators put her on a diversity panel to represent the ultimate minority.
I was put on a diversity panel when I was in high school for middle schoolers to talk about being a conservative or a Republican. We said Republican at the time. Now we're not allowed to say that because of rhinos, so we just like lost the term Republican. But I was on stage as a Republican when they had in high school to show middle schoolers it's okay to be different. And I went to this really, again, fancy prep school, so they had someone on financial aid. They had a religiously different kid. He was Jane. They had a lesbian, and then they had me as the Republican. And I got up and I said, you know, I believe in limited government and I believe in the Second Amendment. And everyone was so horrified. They're like, bring back the lesbian. You know, it was real. Yeah. People were closeted conservatives, and they still are. But after that moment, people would come up to me, like girls would come up to me in the bathroom and whisper, like, I'm a conservative too. And I would say, you don't have to whisper, just be conservative. But people, there have always been like, there's been the underground, you know, just normie approach, but there's so much peer pressure and most people succumb to that.
Yeah.
I think most people just want to fit in and want things to be easy. For me, the easy way was always just sticking by my values.
Years of surviving those hostile spaces prepared her for anything, even performing on a bizarre stage that looked like Jill Biden's Christmas decor.
But what in the local theater production is happening on this stage? I will not be breaking out into song at any part of tonight. Sorry to I'm very thankful
to the venue. Thank you for having me. But it's like, apparently this is an Alice in Wonderland themed. Okay, clap if you've been here before to this location. Okay, nice. Okay, that's wonderful. What the is going on here? Because I don't think you guys realize how unusual this is. Okay. It's like the first, welcome to California. This is how Jill Biden decorated the White House during Christmas. Remember that? It was like the theme was transgender nutcracker or something. Except no nuts.
Standing strong on weird stages is easy when you raised yourself in blue states, where Republicans have to be built different just to survive.
Let's get something straight. Republicans in blue states are so hardcore. Where are the baddies? We don't have the luxury of being in some red state where everyone around us agrees with us. Oh, no. That would be nice. We're out here in the streets where no one agrees with us. That is hood shit. I grew up in the bluest part of New York, and that was ghetto. I know that I'm right wing because even the social pressure of middle school couldn't make me a Democrat.
Eventually, she traded those blue state street fights for Florida, giving her full permission to drop the most unfiltered joke of the night.
The people of Florida are what I would say is they're technically, clinically, metaphysically retarded. And so there is a retard magnet in the earth down there. It's like a rare mineral. China's actually been dumping retard magnets to lower the price. All right, we're good with the hard R in here, aren't we? Trump should put tariffs on retard magnets. I'd like to see the Supreme Court overturn that one.
And to top off her call-outs of leftist logic, she exposes the uncomfortable truth about corporate feminism that no one else dares to speak out loud.
Here's a secret that everyone knows, but no one's allowed to talk about. Working for a female boss sucks, especially if you're a girl. Everyone always talks about the patriarchy keeping them down. Smash the patriarchy. The patriarchy is the only thing that has ever promoted me. Ask any girl when you're just having a casual conversation and she's not being a feminazi if she would rather work for a male or a female. And she will tell you. And why? Because women are jealous, women are moody, women are insecure. And for some reason, they take all of that out on the women working for them. Because women are mean to each other. We are our own worst enemies. And maybe, just maybe, it's because women aren't meant to spend their childbearing years in a corporate workplace. But we're not allowed to say that. You can't sit with us!
Even when covering a viral story about a baby monkey in Japan, Arynne manages to turn it into a brutal breakdown of modern society and non-binary trends.
There is a monkey, a baby monkey in Japan. His name's Punch. His mother abandoned him at birth, which, I mean, it's kind of nice to see women taking men's jobs for once, but she abandoned him. The other monkeys have not accepted him. They're like bullying this monkey. On the left, all these ladies who've been like protesting ICE. They're all like, send the National Guard, save Punch. What I love is people on the right who are like anti-intervention. They're like, I won't die for another country. And they're like, I will die for Punch. I will die for that little monkey in the end. They're like rooting for regime change in the zoo so Punch gets better treatment. One of the adult monkeys started to like hug and like groom Punch, but like a tale as old as time, like grooming the isolated, vulnerable kid. We're gonna read this in their monkey emails in a few years. I think we're gonna see like a really interesting character arc with Punch. He's gonna start like going to the gym, listening to Jordan Peterson, quoting Andrew Huberman. He's gonna get ripped. He's gonna punch one of those bully monkeys in the face and he's gonna get the girl. Or he's just gonna become a Redditor. Fighting in the subreddits, and then he'll go shoot up a school. And like these are the two options that men have now when they don't have friends. I just don't know what it says about us as a society that right now, like all of our emotional well-being hinges on Punch the monkey making friends. Concerning. But it's Japan, it's not America. If it were America, they'd stick them on SSRIs. What I do like about what they did is they didn't take him out. They like made him stay. They're like, you deal with the bullying, you learn, and now he's made friends. I think that's a lesson for society, because right now we live in a society where you can tell not enough people were bullied as kids. We call them non-binary, but
That absurdity peaks when Hollywood liberals literally cancel their own adoption movie just because conservative media decided to help market it.
You will not believe what Hollywood is trying to cancel now. Adopting children. Yes, yes. And not just any children, minority children. Yes, the people who are always shouting Black Lives Matter are now canceling their own movie. It's because some little media company called The Daily Wire decided to help market it. Letitia Wright, who starred in one of the most famous movies, Black Panther, helped produce this movie, Sound of Hope. It's literally a movie about nice families adopting children. And now she's distancing herself from it because a conservative organization wants to help spread a really good message. And look, I know, we don't agree on a lot in today's day and age, but can we all at least take a breath and agree that adopting kids is a good thing?
Speaking of institutional nonsense, she holds nothing back when breaking down the viral footage of female Secret Service agents in action.
Female Secret Service agents, let's talk about it. They should not be protecting a 6'3" United States president. This is a photo you haven't seen yet. Maybe because they don't want it out there. Look at her cowering. None of them can even fully cover him. What if he had actually been seriously hit? Were they gonna just drag his 200+ pound body? They were hanging around the men who were actually doing all the work. They were basically decoration. Not to mention, they might have actually made it more dangerous. This agent, she can't even holster her gun, okay? She cannot holster her gun. She is also wider than she is tall, so I don't know what kind of fast action she'd actually be able to help with. And this one here was adjusting her sunglasses. At one point, one of the agents was actually hiding behind the president and using him as a human shield to protect herself. Now, can women be in the Secret Service? Yes, there are lots of other jobs that don't involve protecting the most threatened man in the history of our country. If you had grabbed any random guy from the crowd and given them these agents' guns without any prep, they would have done a better job.
Arynne traces all this modern weakness back to generational shifts, comparing tough milk carton millennials with fragile Gen Z.
One of the leading causes of why Gen Z is so insufferable and weak is because they never had kids on milk cartons. They just scroll on TikTok and smoke their little child vapes. No, the millennials, we had haunted lunches. Haunted. We're on our little cafeteria tray next to our square pizza was a tiny carton with a child's face on it that had been kidnapped and most likely beheaded. Stranger danger was such a big part of our lives. Also 9/11. What adult was like, you know what would be really cute on the side of chocolate milk is to make every child convinced that they could be kidnapped, but also why was America relying on the attention and memory of elementary school children? Why were we solving FBI cases? But you know what? I think it made us stronger. That's why we're capable. That's why we work hard. It all went downhill when they took the kids off the milk cartons. Gen Z, they have no idea.
Which brings her full circle back to her hometown of New York City, taking a pocket constitution on a hilarious walk through what she calls an actual refugee camp.
Welcome to another day in my life as a conservative woman, this time visiting my hometown of New York City, the place where ovaries go to die. It is funny being back because while Florida is a giant blue state refugee camp, New York is an actual refugee camp. Now, since my last visit, everyone around me is still pale, unhappy, masked, and trans. Okay, not everyone is trans. Everyone's just kind of an androgynous self-proclaimed Marxist who live in their West Village apartments thanks to Daddy or George Soros. Speaking of which, it would not be a complete trip without being held up in traffic by a bunch of jihadi Janes and Hamas holes, so checked that off the list. And to ward off the liberal spirits, I brought the scariest thing a leftist could see, a pocket constitution. Next stop, I went to the police station because I figured since they aren't allowed to arrest criminals anymore, I'd see if they could at least put out a radio call to round up all men in the city of athletic build with no wedding bands ages 30 to 39, but they said no, so I left. I went to get a snack and so I looked for another snack, but oh no, and another, and well, you get it. It does feel kind of silly to stand in line and pay because I've seen people take things and walk out and nothing happens to them. Still, I do find comfort in the city from our few conservative outposts where the liberals secretly come to eat God's chicken. Finally, whenever I'm back, people open up to me like I'm a priest in a confessional booth, which is all to say, New York, you are super weird, but there are more normies here than you'd think.
Arynne Wexler never pulls her punches, no matter how controversial the topic gets. Which clip was your favorite? Drop it in the comments below and hit that subscribe button for more viral comedy breakdowns.